Hi, I'm the Scrub and you're here for one reason. Quick warning, these are massive spoilers for the end of the Shadowbringers MSQ. If you're not up to this section, I highly recommend not watching this guide until you're up to this fight. With that being said, let's begin. Well, here we are at the end of the world. As Emmett said himself, the winner will be the hero of the tale and the loser will be the villain. And this is a fight that neither side can lose. Strap yourself in because this is going to be a battle for the sake of the star. Time to learn about the Dying Gasp. Simplified. Ravenous Assault is a cleaving tank buster and a small circular AoE, so don't stand with a tank. Bad Faith will create two walls of arrows on the west and east sides of the arena. These arrows will be facing opposite directions that will cleave 1/4 of the arena. You just need to be standing behind the wall of arrows to be safe. If you get hit by this, it will give you a Vuln stack. Hades will then cast Double. This will cause the next cast to repeat. Dark Corruption will give 5 players a point-blank AoE on them. Just spread out and don't overlap these. The double cast will also cause the same players to get AoEs at their feet. Just move out of them to avoid the Vuln stack that these will give out if you stand in them. Broken Faith is a huge chandelier drop. The design of the arena will show the size of the AoE for each circle as it drops into the arena. Once they touch the ground, they will explode. Each circle will explode only once, so you can wait in the middle for the first circle to explode and then have everyone group up in the small section against the wall where the first explosion was to be safe for the rest of the mechanic. Getting hit by the circles will give you a Vuln stack per AoE you are hit by. Another cast of Double will happen. Shadow Spread will create Conal AoEs with a safe spot between each one. Because of the double cast, Shadow Spread will happen again, but this time where the safe zones were. Dodge between the safe zones as best you can. Getting hit by any of these will give you a Vuln stack. These mechanics will repeat until you get Hades below 10%. Hades will become untargetable and move to the middle of the arena. A bar labelled Fervor of the Ancients will appear. If this bar fills, Hades will enrage and instantly wipe the group. Two groups of adds appear on opposite sides of the arena. Tanks will need to bring the groups together so everyone can AoE them down easier. When you defeat every group, untargetable adds will appear around the arena. Several of them will target random party members with a point-blank AoE with the cast of Ancient Darkness, while another one will target one random party member with a cast of Ancient Water 3. If you don't have a point-blank AoE, group up with a stack marker to share the damage. After the second group has been defeated, two of the untargetable adds will cast Ancient Arrow, which is a straight line AoE through where one random player is standing. Just dodge out of the AoEs to avoid them. After you defeat the third group of adds, Hades will cast Ancient Dark 4, which will be its ultimate. Following this, Hades will coat the arena in black smoke, disappear, reset the limit break gauge, and reappear as a war boss on the north end of the arena with full health again. This is also a checkpoint, so if you wipe after this point, you'll start from here. There are also no longer any walls, which means you can fall off the arena. Titanomachy is a room-wide AoE. Hades will then cast Shadow Stream. This is a big dark red orb in the middle of Hades' face. This orb will fire through the middle of the arena in a straight line AoE. Later on, it will cast Polydegment's Purgation, which is the opposite of Shadow Stream. Hades will hold their wings out over the arena. You'll need to move into the middle as there will be two big AoEs underneath both wings. Getting hit by either of these mechanics will give you a Vuln stack. Dual Strike will target both tanks with a small circular AoE cleaving tank buster, so tanks will need to get away from the rest of the group to ensure that they don't kill anyone else. Hades will start casting Echo of the Lost and hover an arm over the platform. You'll need to get to the side where their arm is stretched out, as when the cast ends, it will sweep across the rest of the arena and anyone caught in this sweep will get a Vuln stack. Hellborn Yorp will target both tanks with a bright icon above their heads. Tanks will need to move to the side of the arena as these will act like the move Earthshakers from previous fights. When the cast ends, there will be a Conal AoE through where the tanks are standing. Everyone else will need to stack up in the middle of the arena to avoid these Conal AoEs. Hades will target two people in the party with a medium-sized point-blank AoE and cast Captivity. These players will need to move away from the rest of the party. When the cast ends, these targeted players will be stunned and fettered. If anyone else is inside these AoEs when the cast ends, they will also be fettered. Everyone who is fettered will be scooped up into the hands of Hades with a bubble called Ethereal Jail. Hades will become untargetable and start casting Chorus of the Lost. If this cast ends, everyone in the bubble will instantly die and everyone else will take a hard hit with a Vuln stack. You'll need to break the players out of the bubble as fast as possible. The next Dual Strike cast will not only put two tank busters on the tanks, but also tether all other players with a small point-blank AoE. These will go off one at a time, so spread out as best you can. The arena will get a wave of shadow over it with 5 light circles on the ground. Everyone will get the debuff of Doom, which will expire within 10 to 17 seconds depending on what your debuff says. If you do not solve this mechanic, everyone will slowly die one by one. When you stand in a circle, it will light up and small bars of light will surround it. All 5 circles will need to be stood in simultaneously for the Doom debuff to be dispelled and the arena will return to normal. Wail of the Lost can either be a knockback across the arena, which you will need to make sure that you're on the side of whichever way the arrows are coming from, or else you might get punted into the depths depths of hell below, or a knockback from the middle of the arena, which you'll need to get as close to the center of the platform as you can to avoid the yeet. Knockback immunity does work for this mechanic. From here, mechanics will overlap and repeat until you get Hades below 30%. When you get Hades below 30% health, it will cast Life in Captivity. Everyone will be fettered and chained up. A short cutscene will play, and you'll have to get ready for an active time maneuver. You'll have to mash buttons until the bar fills up. You'll have 5 seconds to fill the bar. If you do not do this in time, you will die. When you return to the arena, it will be bathed in a mosaic light. If you have done the active time maneuver correctly, you'll get the buff of Light in the Dark. This will increase your damage dealt for the final phase. Hades will cast the Dark Devours, which are several room-wide AoEs that will pulse back to back. After the final room-wide of the cast goes off, the arena will start to be encased in shadow. Stepping into this shadow will give you a bleeding dot tick for as long as you're in it. If you're taking too long to defeat Hades, the arena will become engulfed in shadow and everyone will get a bleeding dot tick. The next cast Hades will perform is called Black Cauldron. This is a 45-second cast. If this cast finishes, it is an enrage and you will wipe. Remember to use the limit break, and congratulations, you have defeated Hades. My name is The Scrub. Thank you for watching.